when I said we need to talk this weekend, she said, what about? And I said, about the election. She said, we don't need to talk. You're running. Period. And, you know, I need to share with you that the reason that I'm doing it is probably the reason you're here this morning. We realize that we have a responsibility, Brooke and I, to our kids to enable them to inherit an opportunity that's equal or better than what we were able to inherit from our parents. Unfortunately, there are millions of Americans around the country wondering whether that's going to be possible right now with what they see Washington doing, with the issues that they see being debated and discussed, with the actions of the Congress over the last 8 months, the last couple months of the Bush administration, first months of the Obama administration, where we have spent money like no American family could do, where we've done things that none of us ever envisioned the federal government doing, owning private sector businesses, picking winners and losers. This is unnatural for government. It's something our founding fathers never envisioned that the federal government would ever be involved in. And the net results of us blindly doing this mean that today, as I stand here, we owe $5 trillion in interest payments over the next 10 years. And in the next 45 days, the Congress will probably make a commitment to spend $3.5 trillion on next year's budget, of which we have to borrow another $1.7 trillion to fund. And I wish I could tell you this was all about shoveling it to our kids. That then $6.7 trillion of interest payments we're going to make over the next 10 years. Everybody in this room is going to be a participant in that. And the difficulty is we're at a tough point. If it gets much bigger, if the obligation gets too much higher, we're in a death spiral with no way out of this. You could tax the top 2 brackets 100%, and you can't make up the $1.7 trillion shortfall just on next year's budget alone. This is truly the determining point. As much as I'd like to stand here today and tell you the most important date is November of next year because it's selfish for the two of us, I can't tell you that. The most important date is the next 90 days in the United States and the decisions